This is Tina Marie Medlin, founder of Warrior Braids Ministry, and this is the Warrior Roundtable.
Not feeling alone is priceless.
Oh my
Knowing that there's
gosh.
other people in a community who are willing to talk about it, willing to talk about the messy stuff,
Sure.
and to be in community with it. That's how I got through it. I'm sure that's how you get through it because you have a
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. I was just going to actually ask you about that, about community. Like, who did you have around you during that time, and how did they help you? And did you tell them how to help you?
That's a good question. Well, first, I think that's twofold for me,
Mm-hmm.
is that I not only learned how deep my community was in
Right.
spaces, but I also learned how shallow my community was in spaces. And I think
Mm.
that's a part of that pain. When I tell you my mom and sister who literally reorganized their life to always have at least one person, they switched off weeks and
Mm-hmm.
moved in with me. Like my mom had just retired. And when we talk about God's timing, he's so specific. My mom would not have been able to help me had she still been working. And she had
Right.
just retired a year before. My sister was a huge part of my healing. My friends who would drop what they were doing to just be there to talk to your mind. Because again, I'm in
Oh
the
yeah.
bed for like 6 weeks. And if you know me, bed is not where
Right.
I've been taking up residence there. I'm a
That's
mover,
right.
right?
That's right.
And so my friends, and then people who knew about it, who just reached out. And sometimes, Tina, we were remiss to remember that sometimes strangers can be part of your community.
Mm-hmm.
Like God will send somebody to say something, or a YouTube video, or something on social media where
Right.
somebody will pour something into you. And then I think on the flip side, I also saw the actions of people who weren't showing up and who weren't leaning in. And I think part of the pain was knowing I'm going to deepen this part of my community, but
Right.
also knowing I was transitioning to a season where I had to let some folks go.
Right. Because a lot of people don't even understand how to help someone,
Absolutely.
or they're just like, oh, well, I'm not family, so I can't do
Yeah.
anything. It's like, you could make a
Yeah.
dinner, you can just check, you can pray on the phone with me. I mean, there's a lot of things, but people aren't comfortable with that. Not
They're
everybody is
not.
comfortable with that. And then you just, good thing that you didn't take it personally.
Yeah.
You
No.
know?
People have different bandwidths.
Right.
And I know that. But Tina, I couldn't afford to take it personally. I had to use what bit of energy
That's right.
I had to heal.
Right.
And you asked also what I said to them or how to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I didn't know what to say
Right.
because you get to a point where you're like, pray for me. Okay, pray for my mind, pray for my legs, pray for my just pray.
Right.
But then you're thinking, and this is why community is so important. You don't want everybody praying for you. So that's why you got to keep people who
Yeah.
when you don't know what to ask for, they're so
They'll
tied
know.
into the Lord that they know what to
Exactly.
ask for. Because sometimes all I had the strength to do was like cry.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, and you learn to appreciate your energy, and you
Mm,
learn to
love it.
learn how to be a good steward of it, because when you don't have a lot, you have to be so careful with what you can't do physically and mentally, because there's a lot of mental exhaustion that just wipes energy, whether it's stress, I mean, there's so much that you just don't even realize when you live in a very healthy body.
Yes, you're not wrong. Oh, I love how you said be a good steward of your energy. Yes. And I don't know if you went through this, but I also particularly post this
Hmm.
experience, which I don't know if you're ever post because you still have to manage it, you still
Right.
have to be aware of it. But in this healing process, it's also auditing. what in my life matters and what deserves me.
Yes,
And
very
when
much
you're
so. Very much
and,
so.
and when you're high functioning, because I just
Mhm.
told you I wanted to be everywhere. I wanted to do
Right,
everything because not to be seen, but to because someone valued it enough to
right.
ask me to be there or to lead it. My
Yeah,
no is just as blessed as my yes
that's right.
in this
Yeah.
season.
Well, and I feel like God, he just he know, I mean, he knows everything. He knows 10 steps ahead of what you're doing. And when you feel like, no, I need to be everywhere and say yes to everybody, he's like, mm-mm, and I'm going to slow you down. I'm going to slow you down. Because
Yeah.
people are like, oh, God wouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, he kind of would. I mean, and it's not a bad thing. It's just
Right.
you're not serving him well, and that's the only reason we're here is to
Mm,
serve him well. And so, I mean, my theory is if you're not serving him well, then he's going to help you adjust in order to do it the right way.
I like that. He's going to help you adjust
He's going
in
to take
only
your
the way
hand.
God
He's
can.
going to be like, "That's the wrong road. You need to go down this road, honey."
That's so funny. And here's the thing. That's why I said it went from a whisper to a scream.
Yeah,
And
I like
when
that. Yeah,
he's screaming or when he allows this vessel to scream, it's because he needs to get your attention.
right.
Something's off. Something's off.
Right. And you're
And so,
too busy to notice, or you're just like, I'll take care of that next week, and next week becomes next month, and next month becomes next
uh,
year.
say it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So true.
Absolutely.
Oh, I know there's so many people out there that are like, yeah, we do
Yes,
it. We all do it.
we
We all do
do.
it.
We do.
Do you have like a favorite scripture that you just go to?
Mm.
I know there's a
How many?
lot. There's a big book to choose from.
So, and it's so funny. And I know, we've talked a little bit about faith, but I think what I'm doing is, and I'm reading the Bible in a year. And,
Oh
every
yeah.
time you do it, you go back and you're like, okay, Lord, wait, there's just so much here.
Right.
But I'm adjusting my stance because I used to have a favorite scripture, but in Genesis 1:1, when he says in the beginning,
Mm,
I think what I'm looking at now is that the beginning of a season in your life, and when he says in the beginning there was light, and in the beginning there was the earth. There can only be light when you realize you're in the dark.
right. Yes.
And Tina, when you realize you're in the dark about your own body, I think you stop and you're like, why didn't anybody tell me about this? I didn't even know this was a thing I'm supposed to be asking for
Right.
information about. So I love when he says in the beginning, because in the beginning means that something else is coming to an end. And we as humans
Mm,
don't like endings. We don't. We
no.
love to be comfortable. We
Right.
love to do our thing. We love our routines. We love our habits. I was comfortable working 90-hour weeks, even though it wasn't the right thing for me, my mind, my spirit, or my emotions.
Right.
But in the beginning of me finding out about fibroids, in the beginning of me finding out that it impacts women of color, it impacts high performing, high functioning women who put themselves under stress, it impacts how you eat and how you exercise. In the beginning of that was the beginning of me saving my life,
Mm,
adding years to my life,
right.
making my mind better, fighting brain fog and gaining mental clarity. And most importantly, Tina, in the beginning, I learned how to pray differently.
Oh,
Like you have a different type of prayer life
yes.
and faith walk after you go through something where you and your mortality are like, hey, how are you?
Mm,
Because I think, like you said, when you're healthy, everything's working and you're doing all the things, you can feel immortal sometimes. You feel
yeah.
untouchable. And then when you have a moment like this, it's the beginning of you making different choices. It's the beginning of you thinking differently. It's the beginning of a new posture where you
Right.
can look up to God and ask Him for different things because you know the things you're asking for now are more informed because
Right.
you're not in the dark anymore. You're
That's
in the
oh
light now.
wow, that's powerful. That's very true.
So yeah, it's just shifted for me. And now when things end or when I come face to face with something, I'm like, that habit served you when you were in that season, but this is the beginning of a new thing.
Yeah.
I don't struggle as much. I'm not like,
To yeah,
got to
to
change
change.
this and do that. Mm-mm. My posture has changed so much because he literally gave
Amazing.
us an instruction manual for how to
Oh,
handle.
oh yeah. It is amazing. It's amazing too that you know how sometimes when there's like a road and you're like, man, why don't they put a stoplight at this road, this intersection? And it's like, well,
Yes.
you have to wait until there's X amount of crashes before they actually make a difference. They make a change. And I feel like that's our bodies sometimes. It's like, how many times do we have to
Mm,
get to this intersection of making a choice of being making a positive choice for ourselves and our bodies or making a negative. It's like, how long does it
yeah,
take until we're like,
exactly.
oh, that's what we're supposed to do? Or it takes your body breaking down, getting in a wreck per se.
Mm, mm-hmm,
it,
mm-hmm,
it takes that before we
exactly.
are like, oh, yeah, okay, I got it. And then
And we
sometimes it's
wish it.
you're still getting wrecks multiple times.
Oh gosh, I get it. I get it. And it's so interesting how different experiences can uncover different
Mm,
things about you
yeah,
that you didn't even know were in you. And I say Genesis 1:1 because yes, he created the heaven and the earth and the light and like all those things came after it. But also we were born to be creators. Like literally the reason I'm going through all of this is because
yep,
my body was designed to create life.
exactly.
And so, when you think about how precious your life is, and you were talking about like getting into wrecks, like you drive differently when you've had
Sure.
an experience like that. You implore others to show up differently and handle their safety differently.
Oh,
So it
yeah,
all it all works together. It all works
exactly.
together.